Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies coming to you with Knob Creek 2001.
Batch number 2. Let's test it.
Test it! All right. So it's got a wood box. Anything in a wood box, that means it's good, right?
It's got to be.
Boom.
That is
wood
batch
box.
number 2. What happened to batch? We never saw batch number 1.
Yeah.
So,
but it's
we got batch number
2001. We were supposed to have
Now,
spaceships and stuff by 2001.
that is true. And we're going to party like it's 1999.
Bam.
Knob Creek Bookers.
Right.
Started by Booker No, passed on to Fred No. Somewhere in there, this transition back in 2001. Now, this is 2016. So I would think this would be 15-year-old bourbon. But it says in the notes that it's over 14 years old. So we lost a year in there somewhere.
Okay, well.
Now I'm still using my new New Orleans whiskey glass.
And I decided to use like a classic whiskey tumbler. This is
an
heavy
amazing
crystal.
man.
Thank you.
You are sexy.
You normally have a great mustache. You sometimes wear cat shirts.
I have mixed drinks about feelings.
Wow, I have a Boba
Ooh,
Fett.
sweet.
Yes, that looks like Iron Man. So, boom. And a hat.
Okay. There's 3 batches of the Knob Creek 2001 edition.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I saw online, and the fact is, I think it might have been whiskey.
Boom, we lost our camera.
We had recorded actually a little further into the video, and then we thought, is that red light on?
Yeah.
And you said nope.
Nope. I filled up the hard drive there,
Oh,
and
so we're
picking back up.
Forgive us if we repeat ourselves.
Boom. And I deleted my notes, so we're gonna have to go from memory.
Anyway,
Whiskey
I was
Daddy.
saying that Whiskey Daddy had even done. I know he did a video review of batch number 1, and he was talking. The notes. I think that was a sweeter batch. And then he went into batch number 2 would be we're supposed to be a oakier, woodier batch than batch number 1 was. And batch number 3, I don't know what that is yet.
Gotcha.
And batch 4 and 5, I don't know either.
Well, right. And
There is no batch 4 and 5.
oh, now I'm all discombobulated. I used a whiskey tumbler. It's heavy. It's crystal. You're using.
I'm back to the New Orleans whiskey glass.
Is it? You're saying like New Orleans, like New
Norland.
Orleans.
New Orleans.
I know. For those that don't.
New Orleans.
All right.
New
Now,
Orleans.
nose. I get.
We did kind of go in what I didn't mention
What?
in the last
That is true.
Saturday. We reviewed the Balvenie 21-year Portwood and the New Orleans glasses.
Yes.
One thing I was gonna say was we drank majority of the time, and I am used to, and most of us, a Glencairn. When I do my nosing, when I do my tasting notes, I use a Glencairn.
Right.
I prefer a rocks glass.
Really.
A lot of times at night, if I'm at home and I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy whiskey, I use a rocks glass. I just prefer it. If I'm not gonna nose it and take notes.
Okay.
So that's what you're used to. That's what we do now, though. The New Orleans glass, and it's different. And I was gonna say it's like you drink Pepsi all the time. You're a Pepsi drinker. You love Pepsi, and someone gives you a Coke.
So it's still good, but a little.
This
different.
is the Pepsi,
Okay.
the Glencairn. The New Orleans whiskey glass is the Coke. It's different. It's still good. You're just not used to it.
Visually, I like the look. What my problem is when I pick it up, it doesn't have the heft to it, the weight to it, and it just feels almost like plastic.
I do agree.
And I'm
with
afraid that if I was like, not that they have a store that just sells glass, like whiskey glasses, but if I felt that on a shelf, I don't think I would buy it.
Not when you compared it next to, and that's the reason you're using just the
Yes.
rocks glass or the tumbler.
It's got a heft
Yes.
to it.
But somebody's going to holler that you're not using a proper nosing glass.
And I can't get a good nose on it as I do. If I had the Norland or if I had a Glencairn, I would be able to get a better nose on this. With the nose though, I get a little bit of cinnamon. I get some like cotton candy. And then it's got a little bit maybe of the spice. I mean, I'm waiting for you to say it's kind of got that typical bourbon nose to it, which is, although I get the sugary sweetness in the cotton.
Yeah. The cherries. Outside of the normal bourbon, you're going to get some oak, you're going to get some vanilla, maybe caramel, a little cinnamon. You get all those. The nose on this, though, 2001. Now, again, this should be, to me, it came out in 2016, a 15-year bourbon. But they say it's over 14 years old, which I guess technically, even if it's 15 years old, it is.
Well,
it's over 14.
It probably means
old.
it was just shy, like
Probably.
they bottled it before it hit the 15 or something.
I do get a rich, strong nose on it. The oak, the cherries. I get a little bit of corn alcohol and brown sugar.
All right, I wouldn't disagree with any of those. On the taste, I get a little bit of that kind of sugar water, brown sugar taste, a little bit of caramel on there, not as much as I actually thought I was going to get. There's the alcohol contents there. I can taste that stronger ABV.
It is 50% ABV. If we didn't say that, I don't know if we did or not.
May not have.
I get I call it in my notes, I've got a harsh corn alcohol when I sat down with it when I first popped the bottle. Sitting here today, and I think it's had a little bit of time to get some air. That corn alcohol isn't quite as harsh.
Yeah,
But still, there's a little bit of that corn alcohol still
a
present.
little bit. I find it a little more mellow than I thought it was going to be, but it's been in for that, that length of time. I don't get a lot of oak. I think I anticipated I'd get a little bit more of the oak in it with it being in that long. But, I don't know. That's about it. I don't get any kind of lingering aftertaste to it. It's kind of, as soon as I swallow it, it's there and it's gone.
I get the oak. The oak is there. I don't know that it's that strong either. When you think of the Woodford Reserve double oaked, that oak was really there.
And I'm not a big oak fan, so I'm all right with that.
Yeah. I do have it. Gives you a velvety smooth coating when it comes in. It's delicious neat. You get that cinnamon, a slight vanilla.
Yeah, a little bit of creaminess.
Yeah,
a little creaminess to it.
And then I added water.
Right.
And to me, that's the downfall of this. Maybe just a touch, you're okay. When you put, even though this is 50%, its weakness lies with the water. It's better neat or with just a splash of water. Get too much water and it's becomes substandard.
Well, something with this whole bottle leaves me, not substandard, but it leaves me wanting. I feel like they missed somewhere and I don't know where.
Okay, just to finish though, with the water, it is creamy smooth. The oak is present, cinnamon, vanilla, and I'm slightly disappointed with it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
For a 15-year-old bourbon, over 14-year-old bourbon, I expected more.
Well, we just reviewed the Elijah Craig. It was a 12-year, right?
Yes.
And when I tried it out,
barrel proof.
It is stronger. It's stronger. I'll give you that. But it had just a wow factor, and maybe it was unfair. But when I saw this, I expected it to deliver that same kind of wow.
Yeah.
I like Knob Creek. Knob Creek is strong. I like the strength that Knob Creek brings. I don't feel like it's quite there. It fell short.
It's good.
Yeah. It's bourbon good.
But it's not 15 years good.
No,
I don't know where it went.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's giving me anything special.
Nothing special. It's not there. So let's talk about our scores.
Right. See, and I even think that's generous. I know I had on my notes, I had an 87. As I'm tasting it here again, I'm going to say 86. I'm just going to, and I had it at an 87, but it's just leaving me wanting a little bit. If I don't know, we just so recently had that Elijah Craig and it just had me go, whoo, it just stood me on end.
And not because of the alcohol content, but when I pop a bottle of whiskey, be it a bourbon or a Canadian or a Scotch, I'm looking for something that makes it stand out. What differentiates this from other whiskeys?
Now, there's nothing wrong here.
No.
There's nothing that says yuck or anything. It's just, I feel that it's more of I feel this could have been an 8-year at the flavor or a 10-year. It's there. It's solid.
Yeah.
I agree. Just no wow factor. So, we've got our scores in.
Yep.
Is it worth it?
$120.
Whoo, no.
No.
No. 40. 40 I think would be.
I would say 60. This is a $60 bottle. And I've got in my notes, I would take the George Stagg Jr. At $50 or even Buffalo Trace at $25. So much more. I mean, for $120, it's missing.
Yeah, it's way overpriced.
It's missing the mark.
Yep.
In fact, that's for our area is $130 to $140. Our price, the dummy price, was $120.
Wow.
But you're probably going to see a range from 100 to 150, 160 across the states.
Nope. Not
now, this was batch number 2. When batch number 3 comes out, I ain't buying it.
No.
Not if it's the same price, and I doubt it's going to be. If batch number 3 is $60, I'll pick it up.
I mean, it's not a bad whiskey. It's just not a $120. It's not a $100 whiskey even.
No.
This, I wouldn't spend $60. I would spend $40, $45.
Well, you're harsher.
I am.
You're harsher on the bourbons. You prefer the scotches.
Well, I do.
You're not afraid to say it.
Right. I prefer ryes over bourbons even.
Yeah.
My problem is it's way overpriced for what it's delivering. So not worth it. Not even close. Sorry.
Now, that's our opinion. And let's talk about that because we've had some comments come in on we might give one whiskey an 89.
Yes.
A score of 89.
Right.
And it's $60 and we say it's not worth it.
Right.
And then we review another whiskey, we give a 89 and it's $100 and we say, yes, it's worth it. That's, to me though, I have different expectations. When I open a bottle of bourbon or I open a bottle of rye or I open a bottle of Canadian whiskey or peated scotch or sherried scotch, I've got different expectations. You know what I'm saying? And when I taste it, like you say, that wow factor, what differentiates a whiskey from something else? That's what I'm looking for.
Interesting. For me saying, is it worth it? It's almost more of a gut reaction. Like, would I spend the money I spent on this or that you spent on it or that we spent together on it? Do I feel I got the return back? And we've tried well over 200 different whiskeys at this point in time, and I believe I can call it. Again, it's more of a gut reaction. It's not me. I score all the whiskeys on one scale. I don't have a bourbon scale, a Scotch scale, Canadian scale.
I do.
I don't, a rye scale. To mine, they're just all, and it's how do they hit me? How do I like them? Where do they rise to? I don't factor in price at all. But when we get to, is it worth it? The price is factored in. And that is all about, do I feel that the taste that it's providing me right now was worth the expense of that bottle? And so that's very, it's a sliding scale. I get more complexities out of a scotch, and I don't have as much of a problem spending the money on a scotch for that complex flavor. That's me. For a lot of the bourbons, man, you can get some great bang for your buck at $30 or $35. So I probably am, I am more critical in the is it worth it stage with the bourbon.
Well, and I think that's kind of come up with though too, is that being in the States where we are, bourbon is cheaper than it is across seas, across the ocean, right?
Good.
Same with scotches. Over the pond, they're cheaper.
Over the pond.
Here, they cost more.
True.
And to me, I would still say a $35 bottle of bourbon, a good $35 bottle of bourbon is the equivalent of a $70 bottle of scotch. A good. Because of the price difference.
All right. I'd say $30 bourbon is about equivalent to a $50 scotch. Okay. I think there's about a $20.
The ratio's a little off. But yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying.
I do. So
bourbons, because we're stateside and they're local and they're here, you don't have import taxes and that heavy transportation fee of getting it across the pond.
Well, if you're buying a scotch has a tax coming from Scotland or England, the United Kingdom, and then we've got a tax coming into here. You got your state tax, you got your Fed tax. So it's just risen in price. So that is why we're on that spectrum, but I don't believe it's worth it. No, sir. No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Now, one other thing I do have in my notes, it is better at the higher ABV. Once you add too much water to this, it really brings it down too much and it just becomes standard average. Really reminded me of the Orphan Barrel Gifted Horse.
Okay.
The Orphan Barrel Gifted Horse was, I think, 60%. But it was a lot better, stronger. The more water you added, the more kind of average it became, and that's what I get with this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there, because sometimes you add a drop of water and it enhances. I mean, it opens it up. And sometimes I've had some where it just totally obliterates it. So,
yeah. It's not bad. It's not. It's a good
bad.
one. It's just not worth $120.
It's not bad. I'd go get the standard Knob Creek barrel proof for half the price, and I'd be happy.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I forget what I was going to say.
I don't know.
I had something else real quick.
I'm going to talk about I'm a beautiful man.
Check us out on patreon.com. You can support us video to video. You can give us $1 per show. You can give us $1 per month, whatever you want to do. It helps us out. Buy our Scotch Test Dummy Glencairns.
Right.
That helps us out. Or you can buy us a bottle.
I've got
if we
a
haven't
logo.
reviewed your favorite bottle, you
logo
can buy
on
it for us.
Bingo. And do me a favor, subscribe. Just slide down, click the subscribe button. We got
Down
tons.
there.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere.
Over there.
We've got a lot of subscribers, but that helps us out a lot. Really, really does. And it makes sure you don't miss anything.
Yep.
Because we got some cool shows coming in the future. Maybe even we get makeup.
I just remembered what it was I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
The red dot is still showing, so I
Thank
know
you.
we're still
We
recording.
are recording.
We weren't before,
were
and we
not.
got to the "Is it worth it" segment,
Yes.
and you were much more pronounced. Your acting skills needed to come up, because the first time when I told you it was $120, you were like, "No,
Why?
no." And this time you're like, "Nope."
Nope. Not worth it. That's true.
And I was waiting for the whole.
Oh.
You were much more
I know.
colorful.
Well, we're having it. We were like,
gotta-
we filmed the whole thing and then found out our video stopped at like 2.5 minutes in. So this is like take 2, and I'm not a trained actor. Wait, is it worth it? 120. Oh, no!
yeah,
It's horrible.
The blood, the horror.
I'm cramping. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
So aren't you?
Dummies.